If you are looking for excitement and all sorts of crazy things, then you may exit my spaceship right now. If you want someone who's only interested in going viral, then that is definitely not going to be on this channel, because if I find out that by some miracle I go viral, I will probably hide and go underneath some covers. Now, if you like stories, then you are in the right space. If you want to relax and learn something, you are in the right space. Come sit on my porch. Just be aware that there is probably going to be a hellhound creeping around in the shadows. Let this channel be a great escape for you from the world, from stress, from anything that you need. That is my goal with this channel. It's a place to relax, to listen to a good story, to laugh at the mistakes that I make, and I guarantee I will be making a lot of mistakes. I may be just starting out and struggling to figure out my lighting, my background, how to work best with all the equipment that I have. But what will happen is I will actually grow and I will get better. You are just getting to see me build from the ground up, and I hope that you will stick around for that as well. Like everything in my life, what I don't do is give up that easy. Maybe it's the stubbornness in me, but I've never given anything up that easy. I try to make things better, and I try to work at something. Then finally I might finally get to the point where okay, this is not working. No matter how many times that I am knocked down in life, I get back up. Even if right now it's not so pretty, because I deal with a lot of body pain and stiffness. So if you do, I definitely understand what that is like. I have to work at keeping that flexibility every day, and I am finding new ways to work with it, just like every character I write. Like my characters, through sheer will against a lifetime of things knocking me down again and again and again, demanding I give way, demanding I give up, and telling me that I am nothing and that I can't do what I want to do or achieve what I want to do. I keep going, and I keep trying to fight for the life that I want to have. At times it may be very difficult, but like my characters, and I am sure like with you, I keep going and I keep trying. And that is all any of us can do, is try. This channel isn't just for me, it's for you too. On this channel, we delve into the mind of multi-genre I can't say that word. Author Kimberly Sue Iverson on her journey to publishing 1,000 stories. On this channel and in my work, I use my trauma that I've been through and all my experiences to find questions to the bigger answers, because I also love psychology. Why are people the way they are? Why do they do the things they do? I like to learn as much as I can to understand human nature and the mind and the brain and how individuals work, because for me that is fascinating. What can we do so that those things don't destroy us? I delve into the psychology of it all and the deep love that my characters feel for the people they meet, the people that they do love, the layers upon layers of the worlds that they inhabit, and even that we inhabit. So that even when you think you reached the bottom, there is another layer to discover, and you're going, wait, that's something new. As we grow and we gain more experiences in life, the things that we read and hear and experience, we take it in with new eyes, new thoughts, regarding everything, and it's just yet another thing for us to learn about. I don't believe being broken is a bad thing, especially if you use that wisely. I don't think being broken means that you are going to have a miserable life. I don't think that it means you don't deserve to be happy or that you don't deserve to find love, because that's the same with my characters. They've been through a lot. They're constantly going through a lot, but they try and they realize that being broken is not a bad thing. When we spend all our lives trying to fix ourselves, we're saying we are broken and that's something we need to fix. I don't necessarily agree that we always need to fix what's wrong with us. We don't need to fit into whatever is normal. What we need is to be heard and to be seen and to work with the way that we are to find how to live our best lives. I don't function like normal. I don't think Easy Rider is really normal. I don't share what I've been through as anything else than to say, understand me, understand who I am. This is what I've been through. That is what stories do for us, to understand someone, their life, what they've been through. We learn their experiences. We learn through their eyes what they have gone through, and that is the power of a good story. I have been through too much. We all have. We are all in some way misshapen, funky, nutty as the day is long. I have only really had one dream for the future, and I was told that it was wrong, so that I tried other things. I was told that was wrong as well. I was constantly being told anything that I wanted to do was wrong. Eventually, I learned not to do things for approval and to step out of that box. We will never get approval. It's only what brings us happiness. For me, that's telling a good story that helps somebody get out of their head for a bit, forget their life, forget things that they are having to stress over, easing that burden at a moment. I enjoy making people happy and providing comfort. And often that comes in telling them stories. Our stories make us who we are, as much as our past, as much as it does my characters. I'm overfitting myself into the world. I never will. I am not normal, and I have accepted that. And I bet that's you too. Whatever that means for you. Do you know what we will say to the world then? We will quote my character, Annika Dinsmore. The world wanted her to conform. Let the world part around her as she spread her deadly wings. These are my wings that may be deadly to some. The stories that I have to tell. The stories that my characters have to tell. The stories that you have to tell. Because they will make you think without you even realizing it. They will change you whether you realize it or not. There will be layers upon layers to discover, just like the way that I am. Stories will open your eyes to new things, to new experiences. They connect people through millennia, through time, through space, through distance, through all of it, because we relate to what a character is going through. We see ourselves through another character's eyes, even if they don't look like us, even if they don't act like us. We can relate to their struggles that they go through. That is what is dangerous about a good story. It will open your eyes to new things. Stories change us. The things I share to be understood, to tell my story, to learn through my characters, to learn through your stories that you tell me and that you will share, which is why I want to tell your stories in time too. Even if those aren't stories because you are a writer, even if those stories aren't because you are a professional in some way, but just you don't have anyone to pass on the story that you have to tell, or the story of your beautiful father or mother or grandfather, you have a story that you would just love to share to make someone smile. For me, sharing stories even about things that people have been through that are not necessarily happy, I like to hear those. I like to learn from those because I think it's just so important that we learn about other people. It helps us to understand people and connect to each other. What I don't like is fake. So I ask that you never tell me you love a story of mine if you don't. I can usually tell the difference between authentic and fake when someone is just trying to blow air up my butt. And I don't like that. That is the fastest way to get on my last nerve. I try to be as authentic as possible, as open and transparent. I keep my private life private, so you won't learn about certain things. But I am pretty open about most things in my life and some of the private life. Just there are lines I will not cross. I will admit to my failings. I will be vulnerable. Most likely cry. I'm a blubber, but these days, especially if anything's really sweet and touches me. You can tell me you don't like my work if you don't like my work, and what you specifically didn't like as well, or what you do like, because often that will help me spur other stories and ideas. Your feedback is valued. It helps me grow. Just don't be rude to be rude. Be courteous and remember that there is a human being on the other side of that camera. I appreciate those who try to always remember that and keep that in mind so that we can have open discussions and debates, because I don't want to have to police people. If you don't like something of mine, you may like another story or another's work may be better for you. It's silly to me to think that there's something wrong with a reader if they don't like my work. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't like my work, or even if you don't like me. There are so many incredible writers out there, and hopefully we can discover some together. I make a lot of mistakes in my work, and I will be open about them as I do. I hope that I can learn and grow from them so that I don't repeat them, and so I get better at storytelling, because that is my ultimate goal, is just to be a good storyteller. So be aware that I am always learning and growing just like you. I will never reach expert status. I will never consider myself such a great human being that I am absolutely perfect, as many people have confused me with and then punished me when they found out that in fact I am human and I am not perfect. I am not an expert. I am not the greatest thing ever. I am just like you. And I hope that at least some of this might inspire someone who wants to write as well. I started out a long time ago. I have been at this a very long time. I tell people all the time, I'm not a great writer. I don't consider myself a great writer. I don't consider myself great at pretty much anything. But it's not a bad thing. It keeps me learning and growing, and it reminds me that I always have something to learn. What works for me may not work for you. So use a lot of what I say if it helps you, if it helps you figure out where to go, if it helps as a starting point. But know that there are 1,000 different ways to do 1,000 different stories. And even with my own stories, I try new methods so that every story that I tell, I'm actually using different methods, trying to challenge myself or trying to discover new ways to work. No two stories I think I have ever worked with the very same, or no two processes have always worked exactly the same. I try to challenge myself, and I try to find new methods that work for me, or just try new methods in general. Constantly learning and growing helps me also, because then I don't become too arrogant and ego-driven. Since I have been there, it gained me attention, but it didn't really do well for learning anything. It just, people like the drama. I don't plan to just tell my stories. I want to tell others' stories, your stories, like an author just starting out, since I have been there. I know what that's like. So whoever wants to share one, I would like to share in time. Poetry, short, it doesn't really matter. All any of us really need is to be heard and to be loved deeply and accepted just as we are. We all benefit from stories. Some of us have nobody to pass down our stories to, and I'd love to be able to share any kind of story that you might want to have shared. Something for you to relax at night. So that's why I don't plan to go wild and crazy. Also, I'm not wild and crazy. I am pretty boring and simple. But if you have other ideas that you think I could do on this channel, I would love to hear that. Stories are our history, present, and future memories. If I can inspire somebody to do the same, to write, to tell stories, anything, that would make me incredibly happy, and I will do my best to do so. If I can give you an escape for a few, that would make me happy as well. That is the real reason I write, is to provide an escape from life. There's nothing that makes me happier than having somebody tell me that my work was able to help them get through a hospital stay or a struggle they were having, whatever it may be, or that I inspired them to start writing. So don't ever hesitate to tell somebody, especially me, that they were inspiring to you and why, or you really appreciated something they shared at that time and why. Often it comes in at a time that many people want to give up writing, and you have no idea how valued that can be for somebody. Reading provided me an escape as a child. I spent my childhood reading stuff by Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Anne Rice, Michael Crichton, Carrie Arthur's Riley Jensen series, and sneaking about to watch Tales from the Crypt even though I wasn't allowed. You that night. I have a limited time here on Earth and so many stories in me yet to tell, which is why I finally decided to make a goal of writing and publishing 1,000 stories. Does that mean I will achieve it? Does that mean that I will absolutely be crushed if I don't reach that? No, of course not. Those aren't the kind of goals that I set because perfectionist issues. But I'm gonna do my best to achieve it, and you get to watch me on this journey and share in it as well. I so far have written and published over 53 stories. If you go to my website link below, go to the books tab, scroll down, you will find a PDF that you can download for free of all the stories. I update and change that whenever I can remember to do it, and I put the date on it so you will always know when it was updated. I have pulled a few stories so that I could clean them up and get them republished. That is what I really love about being an independent author. A lot of people believe that independent authors chose to go indie because they couldn't get published traditionally. Some of us are control freaks, and we decided that the best route for us was not to spend a lot of time trying to go traditional when we can have more options doing independent. Is it a lot more work? Depends. Both sides have pros and cons. I think it's what works best for that particular author. I don't need to be a traditionally published and have a print name on my work of a publishing house to feel like I achieved something. So I think it just depends on the person. I'm not going to squash either side. I'm not going to attack either side. Choose the best route for you. For this, it works for me. I'm trying to get my schedule back on track, or at least figure out a new schedule as life changes. So bear with me. Bear with me as I figure out sunshine and background and positioning of everything. So bear with me as I struggle to figure things out. I appreciate you being here. anyone who offers me feedback, even if it doesn't seem like I am taking it in. It could just be a bad day I'm having, but trust me, it goes in here. I appreciate any feedback that you give me. So even if it doesn't seem like I am taking it in, and it might just be a bad day. It might just be that I've got a ton of stuff up my butt and too little time, and I'm being pulled in all directions, and it's driving me nuts, and I'm about to blow up. So know that I do take in feedback offered, sharing my journey here on YouTube. Ask me questions, share with a friend if you find value in this channel, share if you know anybody who would like a good story. Maybe somebody would like to see this that you know. Maybe somebody you know is just starting out and in time would like their story to be read on this channel. I would love to give them that chance as I get better, especially at like differentiating the characters and all that. But I do fully know that I have room for improvement. I always will, and I will slowly get better in time as I go on. These videos still for me, often I want to go click and delete, so it's not exactly like I am super happy and excited about being on camera. It still takes me a little to get there. So get used to some very weird stuff coming as we go on. As I did say though, certain things I will not discuss and go too far into. Get ready for some quirky girl attitudes later on as I get more comfortable in everything. Although you're already starting to see that a little bit. Come in, relax, stay a while, and I genuinely mean it when I say it is nice to meet you. And I really hope that you stick around, that you enjoy this channel. As much as numbers have been my goal in terms of sales, and it's important, that is not my main goal. It's you, to tell you a good story, to help you relax for a little bit, to get you out of that stress state, because I know all too well what that is like, to deal with stress, to deal with stuff you deal with from stress. Come into my home here on YouTube, and hopefully you will stick around for a while and we can all get to know one another. If not, that's cool too. Welcome to the YouTube channel where we delve into the mind of multi-genre author, I said it, Kimberly Sue Iverson, on her journey to publishing 1,000 stories. Welcome to the YouTube channel where we delve into the mind of multi-genre author. Why do I keep saying Arthur? Oh my gosh. Yep, I forgot that. My hair's inside. Ow. Okay, I'm all